be my life. Mommy, I love your daughter. No gesturing, no one can make me leave her. It's no gesturing, so you can tell her anything you want, but I'll never let her out of my sight. Tell her how much I'm not her type, but one day she's gonna be my wife. Mommy, I love your daughter. No gesturing, no one can make me leave her. It's no gesturing. She told me I should wait until you're 21, but she just don't understand that I'm a very impatient man. I won't let the horse run away before I go to close the gate. I don't believe in promises, 'cause promises can fool my belief. Mommy, I love your daughter. No gesturing, no one can make me leave her. It's no gesturing. No, 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 no.
You look at me and you say goodbye. You made me cry. Said you made me cry, crying. So listen to me while I say to you, breaking up is hard to do. Everybody knows. They know, they know, they know this. I'm still in love with you, girl. I'm still in love with you, girl. Oh, baby, I'm still in love with you, girl. Oh, mother, I'm still in love. I'm still in love.
It's all about you. LA's fine, sunshine most of the time. And the feeling is laid back. Palm Tree Road, rent so low, don't you know? But I keep working my way back. But I'm a Jamaican boy who's born and raised. Nowadays I'm lost between two shores. LA's fine, but it ain't home. New York is home, but it ain't mine no more.
You are listening into Caribbean Vibes Radio Network. Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, KVRN, is an independently owned and operated online radio station proudly broadcasting 24 hours per day, 365 days a year from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, USA. The views and opinions expressed by host, guests, and contributors on KVRN are strictly for informational and entertainment purposes only and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our affiliated stations including Fit FM 96.7, Linkage Radio, and NRP Media JA. We provide content that covers a wide range of topics including, but not limited to, politics, current affairs, and relationship issues under our guiding mantra, covering the globe like no one else can. KVRN also streams content on YouTube under the name KVR Network. For questions, comments, or further information, please feel free to contact us at email at CaribbeanVibesRadio@gmail.com. That is Caribbean with a K. That is KARIBBEANVIBEZ radio at gmail.com, or mail at P.O. Box 42, Centerville, Massachusetts 02632 USA. Thank you for tuning in and supporting Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, your global connection for vibrant, thought-provoking content.
Just positive songs I play. Champion vibes, they cannot play like you. They wanna play like you, that's true. Champion vibes, they wanna play like you.
I am said then I am lost and I can't even say why. I am myself.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. How are you doing this evening? Good evening. Hey, how's it going in your neck of the woods? My name is Chris Wilby, and this is the Hot Topics on the Caribbean Vibes Radio Network. I want to welcome you all wherever you are tuning in from. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. How are you? I am doing well. I am doing well. I'm doing fantastic. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we've been, I have to just get this out there. You know, I want to apologize to the viewers on YouTube and other places. We've been having some challenges, and I do hope that I think we have we have mostly conquered it, you know, and I do hope that everything is going to be fine going forward. For the past few weeks, we've been having challenges with the viewers, and also have to apologize to all of the listeners who have been missing out. You know, I've not been able to share the link so much. So, but yeah, we're here, and yeah, things happen. But we are here this evening, and we're gonna see how well the show is going to progress. So I want to welcome Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music, also Linkage Radio out of New York City. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. On the door, on the door, on the door, on the door. It is indeed a pleasure to be here. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you another evening to talk to you about what is happening in the world, you know, the topics that are streaming, the topics that are important to you, important to me, important to some people. It may not be important to you, but it might just be important to your brother or your sister, or maybe your friends, you know. So yeah, we're here to give and take, and um, we are going to continue with the format that we've been utilizing for the past few weeks, where we discuss the topics, and then in between we play some music. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do this evening, gonna start off with some music, and then we are going to come back. We have quite a number of topics to talk about, because everybody's talking about everything. The budget was just read, and we have a few things. I am by no means a what do you call it, an expert at the budget, but there are some bits and pieces of the budget that we can share with you and just talk about them, because it's there. I am not going to pretend that I am an expert. I am no economist and whatnot, so hey, I'm not even going to try to go down that road. I hear all the experts and the economists discussing what's happening. That's way above my pay grade. So I am not even going to try. But there are some gimmicks. There are some gimmicks that I really enjoyed coming out of the budget debate. I enjoyed Mr. Golding and Mr. Wholeness trading barbs at each other. It comes with the territory, and I really, really enjoy. I enjoyed the water battle. That's what I dubbed it, the battle, not the bottle. Yeah, not the water bottle, the water battle. Um, I saw Mr. Golden there. Mr. Golden came first with his jab at the Prime Minister when he said that water is costs more in Jamaica, and he went viral than gas. Yeah, and the Prime Minister came back. And the Prime Minister said, "Hey, why you were buying the expensive water? So I wouldn't. That's why we're not allowing you with the economy. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, I I don't know. I would say some people said that Mark Gordon came strong, but you know, as always, when you have to talk first, you give the person who is coming after you. That is the danger of the opposition, or the disadvantage, rather. Let me use the word disadvantage of the opposition, is that they have to lay their cards out there. And then the Prime Minister, no, whoever he or she is, they have the time to pick apart your presentation and come back and jab you. So it is always difficult. And the Prime Minister is always going to have the upper hand. And if they can present themselves and communicate effectively, then they can, figuratively speaking, kill the the opposition leader. And I suspect, it was a one-up for the Prime Minister. But all in all, I think it was a great presentation from both the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, and the leader of the opposition. It was a robust debate, and also the opposition spokesperson on finance. It was a robust debate, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, yeah, there are some other things that's making the news. What else? What else, Chris? What else? There are some things that's making the news. I see Peter Champagne, the the the, the the lawyer or King's Counsel Peter Champagne, who was the attorney for Joyland Silvera, making the news, still defending his his client, his convicted client. Yeah, that's one of the things that's in the news. Donald Trump is in the news too. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Maybe play one or two videos of the gentleman. Yeah, boy, I tell you, I don't know if you have the stomach for it, but hey, it is what it is. It's making the news, So the water debate is definitely on. And then we have some other stuff, that we're going to be talking about. Talking points from the right, that is the right in the United States. We want to talk about that. There's a lot that's on the agenda, and of course the minimum wage. I think that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start off, ladies and gentlemen, with the minimum wage, because it is in the news and people are talking about it, because that's one of the things that came out. It's one of the things that came out in the budget debate, the increase of the minimum wage by $1,000, and a lot of people aren't happy about it. So we're going to open the debate with the show with the minimum wage talking points, all right? But in the meantime, let me get to some music from Alton Ellis. I'm the old hits guy, so 1.5 years. Ellis old hits. Stand by, I will be right back.
When you turn and you walk through the door, it hurt me so. Said it hurt me so. Oh baby, when you look at me and you say goodbye, you made me cry. Said you made me cry, crying. So listen to me while I say to you, breaking up is hard to do. Everybody knows, they know, they know, they know this. I'm still in love with you, girl. I'm still in love with you, girl. Oh, baby, I'm still in love with you, girl. Oh, mother, I'm still in love. I'm still in love with you.
Good evening to you, Sister Patricia. How are you doing, Sister Pat? How is it going? Good to see you.
I'm just a man
Sending a big shout out to Mr. Skipper. Good evening to you, Mr. Skipper. Skippy Doo. AKA Omar. Tuning in from Cape Cod. Big up yourself, my brother. Yes, man, it's a hot topic right here on CaribbeanVibesRadio.com, covering the globe like no one else can. Don't forget that you can share the link. Share the link, share the link, share the link. Share the link. I will be back on camera shortly. Stand by. Love ya. Ooh, baby. Baby, I love ya. Hey. Hey. Baby, I love ya. Baby, I love ya. Ooh, wee, baby. Ooh, wee baby. Yeah. Alton Ellis, right here. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again, and welcome to the Hot Topics right here on Caribbean Vibes Radio Network and Fit FM on 96.7. Your life, your music, also on Linkage Radio. All right, so let's talk about the hot topics, the minimum wage, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the minimum wage for 1 second. I see some people on social media criticizing the government for only raising the minimum wage by $1,000. Now, I've been thinking about how I'm going to approach this particular topic, and there are many different scenarios that came to mind. I wanted to scream and yell at people. I also wanted to call them names, you know. Some of the names that came to mind was dense, or in other words, dunce, stupid, illiterate. All those came to mind. But I told myself I wasn't going to do that because it would be disrespectful to the listeners, and it would be doing a disservice, because once you start calling people names, people get turned off and they don't want to listen to your argument and your reasoning, and it's just downright, you know, not productive to call people names. I chose, however, to try to reason and explain to people why some things are done, even though sometimes it is very difficult to reason with people who have already made up their minds about a particular topic, a particular issue, for whatever reason, whether it be because they do not like or support the government or the party that is in government, or they do not like the person who is leading the party in government, for whatever reason. Sometimes it is almost impossible to reason with people. But that doesn't give us a reason not to try. to talk to people, because sometimes when you reason and you'd be surprised when you give people facts. A reasonable person can disagree on certain issues, but when they are presented with the facts, they're open to changing their minds, or at least looking into the facts. One of the things I try to do on this program, even though I have my opinions, I try to present rational thoughts, rational reasoning, and as much facts as I possibly can. Again, I do have my opinion, but I just don't base my opinion on my feelings. Most of the times I try to educate myself. I try to do my research and come up with the facts that forms my opinion. I don't let my opinion dictate how I reason. I try to let the facts dictate my opinion, and then I share my opinion. All right. So that is how I chose to operate. You may not agree with my opinion. You may not even agree with the facts. But somebody once said you can have your own opinion, but you can have your own facts, something to that sort, because the facts are just the facts. Yeah? You're entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. Now, I promised that I was going to start off with the minimum wage, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. You know, the minimum wage is one of the things that's in the news. Prime Minister just give an increase of another $1,000 per week for minimum wage. But let's break it down for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, and let's talk about what is the minimum wage. What is the minimum wage? What is the minimum wage? That's the first thing that we have to try and break down for people. Because sometimes I think that if people understand certain things, then if you understand the base, then you will come away with a different rationale, a different thought process. The minimum wage, ladies and gentlemen, in any country, in any state, is the lowest amount of money an employer is legally allowed to pay a worker for their labor. That is it in a nutshell. The government set these policies, these laws. They put this law into place. You know, the minimum wage. It's the minimum. You cannot pay a worker less than this amount per week. The minimum wage. Right? It is set by the government for a reason, and it is to protect workers, especially the most vulnerable workers in the society. So in other words, it is a floor, not the ceiling. It is where one can start. This is where you start. This is the beginning. This is the lowest where you can go. Any boss, you cannot go lower than that. That's basically what the minimum wage is. The minimum wage is not the government telling people that this is what you need to pay your workers. Because majority of people do not saying that people do not, follow and pay people the minimum wage. But majority of people, this is a base, and they normally start a little bit higher than the base. Majority of employers pay people more than the minimum wage. Right? And let's talk about the raising of the minimum wage and why it is that governments have to be careful in how they raise the minimum wage. The raising of the minimum wage, it sounds very simple to some people. People always want more money, and that's understandable. But economically, it's more complex. It's a very, very complex thing because governments have to strike a balance. Business can't always absorb the sudden cost. And if wages rise too quickly, especially in small businesses, what you may end up doing is cutting jobs or reducing the hours for the hourly workers. May reducing your hourly workers, turning a full-time worker into a part-time worker, or even the business can even get shut down. So that means that the policy that was meant to help workers can actually increase unemployment. In other words, if governments are not careful, and in this case, if the Jamaican government, because we're talking about Jamaica, if the Jamaica government is not careful, the thing that they want to do can backfire. They want to increase, they want people to get a little increase in their pay. It can cause unemployment for the same people. And I'm going to explain going further. Prices can go up, which cause inflation. When business pay more in wages, they often pass that cost to who? Who? Yes, consumers. When businesses pay more, because one of the things that we have to understand, listeners and viewers, is that there is a correlation between everything. Everything. It's like Trump and the tariffs in America. And a lot of people believe that tariffs are good because tariffs are going to bring in money for the country. But who is going to benefit from the tariff? That's another thing that we can talk about another time. But the fact is that people, manufacturers or producers, they're not going to eat the cost. They're going to pass on the cost to the consumer. It is just a fact of life. Somebody is going to have to pay. So when business pay more in wages, they often pass that cost to consumers. So the food prices will rise. So if you get a little thing, or if you get too much of it, you still have to spend it all back. So 6 and 1 half does not the other. And the services will become more expensive because I am producing something. I'm offering a service, and if I have to pay more, hey, service cost is gonna go up, and investment can slow down. If labor becomes too expensive too quickly, the companies may stop hiring or move operations elsewhere, and that weakens economic growth over time. Now, let us talk about skills versus the entry level jobs, right? A very high minimum wage can make employers prefer experienced workers, and that would reduce the opportunities for young or unskilled workers. Because you have to pay people. If you're paying more money, then you're not going to want to any apprentice to come learn on the job. You're going to look for people who already know what they're doing. And so, again, you're talking about less people who are employed. So, what most economists will agree on and that will tell you is that what you have to do is to increase the minimum wage gradually. And we're going to talk about that, how many times the minimum wage has increased from 2016 to now. It's a gradual increase. You cannot increase the minimum wage too quickly because you're going to shock the system and you're going to create problems. You also have to tie the minimum wage, ladies and gentlemen, to productivity and inflation. And you have to allow business time to adjust to the new norm. You can't shock the system. So, for example, the Prime Minister says he wants to increase, he campaigned on trying to increase the minimum wage up to $32,000 by the end of his 5-year term. Which one of you believe that it's not going to go to 32? I honestly believe it's going to go to $32,000. I am one of those who are convinced that it is going to go to $32,000 or pretty close, because it is going to be increased gradually over time. And we have seen where, since 2016, where did it come from? Just about $5,000, over $5,000, to where now? Almost $17,000. Right? So it's not it's not a fantasy that it can. It's not beyond the realm of possibilities that it can move from where it is. It can double in the next 4 or 5 years. Right? Now, talking about generally, and we now want to talk about Jamaica to be specific. In 2016, the minimum wage was about $6,200 per week, right? $6,200 in 2016. Those were the figures. And by 2025, where was it reached? Where did it reach? $16,000. Again, I say, in 2016, in 2016, what did I say? 2016. In 2016, boy, I tell you, when I get to know what I say. In 2016, the minimum wage went from $6,000 upwards, kept climbing. So if you do your calculation and you do your math, that would be roughly 158% increase over time. over time and definitely not overnight, because some people want this thing to move, because I see where people are criticizing the Prime Minister. One of the things you guys have to remember, is that the government of Jamaica does not pay minimum wage. So when the Prime Minister raised the minimum wage, it's not him paying people minimum wage. He's telling your employer that they cannot pay you less than that. They can pay you double that if they want. They can pay you triple that if they want. They can quadruple it if they want. And if you are a productive, efficient, skilled worker, I guarantee you don't have to worry about the minimum wage. Because your skill is going to determine your education level, your skill is going to determine how much you are paid. So I say to people, listen, stop worrying about the minimum wage. Get yourself a skill. Get yourself educated. In that way, you don't have to worry about minimum wage. So it is incumbent upon you. It is incumbent, because the minimum wage is for the people who literally don't have a skill, or they are not that educated. So those are the people who have to worry about. I have never had to worry about minimum wage ever in my life. Neither when I was in Jamaica nor here in the United States. I've never had to worry about the minimum wage. I don't work minimum wage. I don't worry about what I don't know. I had to look up the federal minimum wage in the United States is what? $7.25 an hour. No. Do I care whether they raise the minimum wage or not? No, I really don't. It has no bearing on me. Don't tell me no. Who is going to pay me $7.25 per hour? When may I do with that? How is that going to help me and my family? Even if I'm working 2 jobs at $7.25 per hour, how am I going to feed my family with that? I can't feed my family with that. I can barely survive right now with what I am making, and I'm making far more than $7.25 per hour. So, I say again, you need to not worry about the minimum wage. So the people who are worrying about the minimum, you're worrying about the wrong things. In 2017 to 2018, there was an incremental adjustment. In 2022, it was raised to $9,000. 2023, it jumped to $13,000. 2024, it increased to $15,000. In 2025, it went to $16,000. Again, 2017, concentrate, Chris. 2017 to 2018, there was an incremental adjustment. 2022, it was raised to $9,000. 23, $13,000. 24, $15,000. 25, $16,000. And 2026, it is going to be adjusted to $17,000. So that means that at least 5 to 6 meaningful increases were made since 2016. Five to six meaningful adjustments. So the big lesson here And then I'm going to move on to something else. The big lesson here is that Jamaica didn't just double the wages overnight. Instead, it increased the wages step by step. And the government considered the economic conditions because they have to take that into consideration, especially after the hurricane and what happened in the country. I don't expect anybody to. The rational, reasonable people shouldn't be expecting the government to set the minimum wage at what? I see some people saying, oh, him could at least put it at $20,000. And then what happened? What's going to happen? Let's reason this out like rational people. If a little woman running a bar, a lady running a bar, and she employed 2 people to work, they have to alternate. So say they are running the bar and they have 3 people, herself plus 2 others, and they're alternating and juggling the thing. And just for argument's sake, the government decide to raise the minimum wage from where it was $16,000. Remember, the person employs 2 persons. So that's like what? $32,000 per week. Right? Now, I'm just using that one example because it can be, we can use many different examples. The government decided to put it at $20,000. Just boom, $20,000. That person, overnight, that person moved from $32,000 to $40,000 per week that they have to pay out. And if that person cannot afford to pay that, what are you going to have to do? You probably have to go let go one of the person, You probably have to go let go one of the person. Because now you can't pay the 2 people. So you might can only pay 1. So you know if you go take on more hours because, hey, listen, you have to eat food. You have to keep the business open. And if you were planning to probably open a next bar down the road, you probably now have to start thinking, hey, I have to go hold on, I go have to hold on because, I have to see how this thing work before I can take on anything more. I can bite off more than I can chew. So these are the negative effects. So I understand when people talk about the minimum wage, of course people want more money. But to begin with, most people are not paying because even the domestic helpers, most people are not getting minimum wage. So we have to be rational, we have to be reasonable. But I understand, it's politics. People are not thinking rationally when it comes to politics. They just have to bash people. But we are here to uplift. We are here to set the record straight. And that's what we're going to do. And we're setting the record straight irrespective of what people going to say. Because I've been called a labor right. I've been called socialist. And I've been called a Republican. I've been called a Democrat. Because I speak facts. I can't bother to toe the party line just because I think that I like the party. If the Prime Minister wrong, him wrong. that not going to help me if I try to cover up for the Prime Minister. And if the opposition leader wrong him wrong, not going to help me either. But most of us, we toe the party line and we can't talk when we're party wrong, you know. We're not upon that. Anyway, play some more music. Come back. That was something else.
lost that love, that love, that love before. God made and I close and I close and I close the door. And you say try just once more.
I want to say good evening, a special good evening to Christina Wilby. How are you doing, Christina? Good to see you. Good to see you, my daughter. How are you? Good to see you.
And you came and you took control. You touched my very
Voices with Lady D. Good evening to you. Good evening, my good friend. How are you?
soul. You always show me that.
Sister Camille, how are you doing? Good to see you, Sister Camille. Chin 1090. Good evening to you. DJ Chef, big up yourself, brother. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Loving you is a very sad. You've made me so very happy. And I'm so glad you came into my life. The others were untrue. But when it came to loving you,
That's a very good question, Christina. What do I think about the Roofs program? You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I have not been following it. I have not looked into it. So I really do not have any comments on the Roofs program. I would have to look into it and study it some more because I don't like to talk on things that I am not familiar with. So I am not very familiar with it. So I cannot give an opinion on it. All right?
spend my whole life with you. 'Cause it came and you took control. You touched my very soul. You always show me that loving you is a very sad. You made me so very happy. And I'm so glad you came into my life. Wow, wow, woo. Wow, wow, woo.
The late great Alton Ellis. Yeah, right here. Yeah, man. I am the old hits guy. I'm the old hits guy. So yeah, you can call me the old hits guy. I love old hits. Love it, love it, love it. So I enjoy playing it, and I hope that you enjoy. Coming, I really just I play it for myself still, but yeah, hope that you enjoy listening to it. All right, so we still have the Cuban doctors situation, ladies and gentlemen. I love to set the record straight, and a lot of times, one of the things I find myself a lot of times as the underdog, supporting the underdog. I find myself a lot of times not in the majority where opinions are concerned. I find myself in the minority more times than not, and that's okay, because one of the things that I have always done is I have a mind of my own, and I don't just run with talking points, and I don't operate from a place of pure emotions. A lot of people, a lot of us, we operate from an emotional standpoint. And when you operate from an emotional standpoint instead of the facts, we end up in problems, and we end up arguing nonsense, or not the way where the facts supposed to lead us. And I'm gonna call out my good friend Simone Simi Dawson here. She's a very good friend of mine. But I see where she wrote on social media that the Jamaican Cuban health partnership crisis, that's what she placed. She said the Jamaican Cuban health partnership crisis, lives on the line and systems under pressure. The Jamaica Cuba health partnership crisis, she wrote, the decision to scale back the Jamaica Cuba medical partnership is a regressive step that threatens the very foundation of Jamaican healthcare. The efficiency of the Cuban medical team revolutionized our public sector, most notably their cytologist slashed pap smear wait times from a staggering 2 years down to just 2 months. The loss of this partnership creates a dangerous void across the entire health landscape. Oncology and diagnostics, rapid processing of pap smears is the backbone of early cancer detection. Without these specialists, we risk returning to a backlog where a diagnosis comes too late. Specialized care, we are jeopardizing years of progress in dialysis, heart disease treatment, and the life-changing Jamaica Cuba Eye Care program. The private sector myth, she continues, that many believe they are shielded because they pay for private health care. This is a dangerous misconception. Many private facilities rely on these same Cuban cytologists to read the process their diagnostic test. This is not merely a policy shift, it is a national tragedy. When this expertise disappears, the ripple effect will be felt by every Jamaican, regardless of their bank account or which clinic they visit. Now, there are many different things in there. And obviously, Miss Simone she's a nurse, but she's a nurse in the United States of America. And she's familiar with the terms that I am not, because I'm not a nurse. Neither am I a doctor. I worked in the health care system for a couple of years in the United States, but I was at the very lower end of the spectrum. So I don't know what some of those terminologies mean. But one thing I know about the Cuban doctor situation that I can speak of. And the Jamaica-Cuba health partnership that she talk about is in crisis. The Jamaica health system on a whole has been in crisis for decades. And we were being assisted by the Cubans. Assisted. If you would listen to Sima Simone, Sima Simone's article, you would believe that the Cuban doctors made up half or more than half of the doctors in Jamaica. And everybody who is running around pulling out their hair, screaming as if the sky is going to fall because the Cuban doctors are going back home, you're doing Jamaica and Jamaicans a disservice. Because y'all are operating and behaving as if the Cuban doctors are the ones who are holding up the healthcare system in Jamaica. And I am here to refute that. I am here to categorically refute that lie. I'm here to tear down that lie. Somebody say mash down that lie. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody who has ever been to the doctor in Jamaica, the hospital, if you spent any time in the hospitals in Jamaica, you would have probably been grateful. You would have probably met a Cuban doctor at some point over the last 50 years. They did. They provided great service to Jamaica and the health system. However, ladies and gentlemen, there were less than 300 of these doctors in the system at any given time. There were less, let me say that again. There were less than 300 doctors, Cuban doctors, in the health system in Jamaica at any given time. Less than 300. Now the question is, how many doctors do we have in Jamaica? Because context matters. We're not saying that the Cuban doctors are not important. We're not saying that it's not going to affect how healthcare is provided in Jamaica. I'm not saying that Jamaica is not going to miss these Cuban doctors. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is we need to stop operating as if the sky is falling. We tend to do that a lot. The sky is not falling. Jamaica is going to stand firm. The Jamaica is going to survive. They will find a way to continue to provide service. There are over 2,400 doctors, over 2,400 doctors in Jamaica
right now. 2,400. Over 2,400. Matter of fact, according to my research, there's about 2,500 plus registered physicians in Jamaica. 2,500 plus, even though not all of them are pretty active right now. So the point I'm trying to make is that we have less than 300. We had less than 300, less than 400. Well, yeah, less than 300 because I think it was like 277 or something like that. Doctors, Cuban doctors, 270 odd. So it's less than 300. And they were specialists, yes, and they were good. But come on, what was Jamaica supposed to do? You all are acting as if Jamaica was supposed to continue the way how the contract was signed. Jamaica couldn't continue like that. One, it was immoral. Two, they were coming under pressure from international sources. They were coming under pressure. You all know that. You all know that Donald Trump was pressuring Andrew Warner's government. And all of you who talk the nonsense about Jamaica should stand up to the United States, shut up. Just shut up. Just be quiet. Go sit down somewhere. If you believe that Jamaica can stand up to the United States, you need your head checked out. How is it working out for Cuba? How is it working out for Cuba? Do you want Jamaica to end up like Cuba? I don't think you want Jamaica to end up like Cuba. I honestly don't think you want Jamaica to end up like Cuba. The same Cuba that y'all are so fond of and y'all are defending. It's the same Cuba who stood up to America. And yes, the courage is there. They have the courage. You have to admire them. They had the courage. But you have to choose your battles and you have to decide what you want. Do you want the Jamaica that we have now and a better Jamaica, or you want Jamaica to stand up and fight, stand up to Barack Obama and become the next Cuba? Because I hear some people online talking about if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Yeah, that's true. But are you prepared? Are you prepared? You who are saying that, are you prepared to give up on all the nice things? Are you prepared to suffer the consequences? Are you prepared to become another Cuba when the embargo is slapped on Jamaica? When none of you can travel out of Jamaica to United States? When your visa is revoked? Are you prepared for that? Yeah, I'm talking to you. You who have your visa, we are shut off your mouth. Jamaica, if you stand up to Uncle Sam, you may talk to. You have to do better than that, you know. You have to understand yourself. So, let me just run back to the minimum wage issue and then we'll move on again. Between 1989 and 2007, between 1989 and 2007, between 1989 and 2007, the Jamaica's minimum wage increased by $3,000. Want to hear what I say? The Jamaica minimum wage increased by $3,000. And between 2016 and 2026, it increased by $10,800. That's what we're working with here. Facts matter. Between 1989 and 2007, Jamaica's minimum wage increased by 3,000 Jamaican dollars. And between 2016 and 2026, the same minimum wage increased by 10,800 Jamaican dollars. All right, more music, and then we'll come back to some more facts, because that's what we have to do. We have to set the record straight. We can't afford not to. We have to set the record straight. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, more music after that.
I've been wanting you, girl, not just once or twice. Take this from me, I'm as free as the birds in the tree.
By the way, the phone line is 508. If you want to participate, 508-762-7621. 508-762-7621.
Them give her the
crown Sunday night or town.
Yes, man, you can call me. Yeah, man, you can call me the Whole Hits King. Yeah, man, the Whole Hits King. I love me some Whole Hits. She boom.
Just love how she cool and deadly.
Boom, she boom.
Just love how she water from the
Boom, she boom.
little girl is so whiny.
Boom, she boom. I tell you, boom. Boom, shaka laka laka boom. She boom. This girl a go wine and kill me. A boom, she boom.
Just a rockin' darling.
Boom, she boom.
Tell you what me know if you bend down low.
I tell you, man. I tell you. Tell you. Hot topics right here on the Big Bad Station. We're setting the record straight because somebody have to do it. So, yeah, have to set the record straight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's another one. I want to say big up to everybody tuning in. Fit FM 96.7. All the people from out of Trelawney. Big up to themselves. People from Manchester. Yeah, Poros. People from everybody down in Westmoreland. Yeah, after the hurricane, people are slowly building back. I have something to say about that. And I'm gonna have more to say about it, but I'm gonna use this opportunity right now to say something. Jamaican people, Jamaican people, out of every opportunity, out of every good, every negative, there is an opportunity, I want to listen to what I'm saying carefully. I don't want to go over on it, I'm talking specifically to the people in Jamaica who are living in Jamaica right now. There is an opportunity that is presenting itself for you. I want you guys to listen to what I'm saying, The people who are this message is not for the diasporans. This message is for Jamaicans living in Jamaica. And there's a specific reason why I'm saying this. Because a few years from now, y'all are going to talk about us in the diaspora. So we come down there. Come take on opportunity. The opportunity is there for you guys to make use of right now. And I am warning you, we are coming. It's not a if. It's not a maybe. We are coming. Mark my word. People in the diaspora, they are going to take advantage. Because there's one thing about the people in the diaspora. And that is why a lot of us left Jamaica. So I understand some people might believe we're not patriotic, but we are. A lot of us, we stay here and we build businesses back in Jamaica. And a lot of people I'm hearing now are seeing the opportunity that is presenting itself right now in Jamaica over the next between the next 2 to 10 years. There's going to be lots of investment opportunity, especially in the building department, in the trades. Lots of skilled workers are going to be needed. Carpenters, plumbers, electricians, painters, masons, you name it. A lot of these people are going to be needed. Your skills will be required. Now it is upon you, it is incumbent upon you to figure out a way to Be used. You allow your talent to be used. Because the people in the diaspora, they're planning to come down, they come set up shop and open businesses, you know. And then a lot of owner down there are going to sit down and say. So I'm saying to you guys, the opportunity is there now. Figure out a way to open a little business. If you have a little skill, figure out a way to market yourself. Because don't sit down and wait until somebody from the diaspora come open up a business and then them come employ you. Because I'm telling you that that's what's going to happen, you know. If you don't figure it out, you know, people are going to come down there, set up shop, and then they're going to employ you and utilize your skill and get rich. So I'm just saying, you know. But the people who are in the West, people whose houses and properties were destroyed, you know, I am hoping that you're slowly getting back on track and things are getting better for you. All right. Now there's an article here, ladies and gentlemen, that I found here, and I kind of find it a little bit distressing and a little bit disturbing. It says here that the Manchester police have confirmed reports that a Trelawney farmer choked to death during a bun eating contest in Christiana, Manchester on Saturday. Police named the man as Keron Powell, 37, a resident of Litchfield district in Trelawney. Observer Online understands that Powell suffered from an intellectual disability. News of the man's death went viral on social media platform X on Sunday afternoon when journalist Rowan Powell posted about the incident. Police said the incident has been classified as death by misadventure. The farmer is suspected to have died from asphyxiation during the bun eating contest on Main Street in Christiana. Police said about midday, Keron Powell was one of 3 participants in the contest when he suddenly choked and vomited. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. You know, I read that article and a few things came to mind, you see. And one of the things that came to mind was the fact that a lot of Jamaicans don't know first aid. And there's a thing that is called the Heimlich maneuver. I'm quite sure that if a lot of people it should be a requirement for people who are putting on these events, because people just do something in Jamaica and you have to wonder. People are putting on these events. You need to be certified. So I hope this is a teachable moment for the government and whoever is in charge of these things. You know, I hope this is a teachable moment because people can learn from these things. You know, don't put on these events if you don't know first aid. You're talking about a bun eating or whatever eating contest. You have to take precaution. What if the person choke? How are you going to deal with it? So I am almost certain that they were not prepared for this eventuality. They were not prepared for this kind of a problem. Because everybody was just into the fun, you know, of watching and cheering people eating. But why people not think about them things here? People eating and you want to win, you're going to eat fast. When you choke, what happen? You just allow people just dead. The authorities need to look into somebody in charge of manslaughter or something. The people who put on the event. It's ridiculous. How you're putting on an event like that and you don't have some medical personnel or somebody who is trained to at least, somebody choking, you can't say, boy, yo, yeah, man, assist them and help them out. And not just to knock them back. Because you knock somebody back, because that they tell you when they grow up, they knock you back. So, man, knock back now, save your man. You need somebody who do a Heimlich maneuver to get whatever is choking you out. And CPR and those things. If you can't do those things, don't put on these events.
What she do, when she do, what she do, why she do, who she do, she said she name, who she do, me say a boom, she boom, la 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 la. What a girl can cool and deadly, a boom, she boom, la 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 la. The little girl just a whiny, a boom, she boom, la 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 la. The little girl went dance and cool me, a boom, she boom, la 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 la. The little girl is a rocking ball, me say a boom.
Sugar, sugar, I love you. Sugar, sugar, I need you. Sugar, sugar, I love you. Sugar, sugar, I need you. I told you once, and I told you twice, that you would be the only man in my life. But I proved your love to be untrue. All my life I depended on you. Sugar, sugar, I love you. Sugar, sugar, I need you. Sugar, sugar, I love you. Sugar, sugar, I need you. Yesterday you said you were going to stay, and today you say you're gonna go astray. Please make up your mind, honey, 'cause you know my love has always been kind. Sugar, sugar, I love you. Sugar, sugar, I need you. Sugar, sugar, I love you. Sugar,
I see where the Jamaica Star is reporting that the family of the man who died at the bunny eating competition has opened talks with the pastry company that hosted the promotion, seeking answers and support. Rightfully so. Totally agree. Because I get to understand that the man is, not all there. A lot of times the Jamaicans take advantage of people who are not so sound in the mind, Karen Powell, 38, of Litchfield, Trelawney, was reportedly participating in the competition, which was part of a promotional event in Christiana, Manchester, last Saturday when food became lodged in his throat. Powell lived with disabilities and relied on a government disability program for support. That's what may I say? So they went on, some family members went on to say one of his hands hook up and one down, but he talks straight and everything else. Only the hand just hook up to his stomach, his aunt Carlene Johnson said. Johnson said that a representative of the company spoke with her shortly after the incident on Saturday and promised that help is on the way. On Saturday, after it happened, they called me and told me that somebody was going to reach out to me on Monday, she said. Sunday, somebody called me and told me that they couldn't wait until today. Monday, they have to call me and talk to me. I was telling them that we are going to need help because we don't have it. They said, yes, we know that, and they are going to get somebody to call me back Today, Johnson revealed, Powell died at hospital after experiencing a medical emergency during the bone eating competition. Johnson told the Star that her brother, who sells produce in Christiana, happened to be passing by and saw a man struggling in the crowd. All the time, he did not know it was his nephew. My brother, that's his uncle, say him had to assist him because when him see him in the crowd and the people them a crowd round because the youth eat the bun and like him a walk up and down and him a feel uncomfortable. Him say everybody a crowd round and now assist. Wow. Powell was eventually taken to the hospital by the promoters who used their bun van to transport him. She said that sometime after 2 p.m. her brother called with the shocking news, leaving her stunned. Jamaica. So Jamaica is not a, it's just not a, I don't know. Them stories are just, them just make you feel weird, They make you feel weird because how you read this and come away feeling anything but disgusted. People use these people all the time for their own, they use them sometimes for their own entertainment. They use them sometimes for to serve them as, what do you call them? Come around, we call them in Jamaica. Yeah. I had an uncle of not so sound mind, and they used to doing the same thing, Make him carry load from market and, no pay him, no give him no money, just use him. Why are we like that? Why are we like that? Would you like somebody to do that to your child? Would you want somebody to do that to your family member? Why are we like that in Jamaica? I'm telling you, when Jamaicans go for go good, we're good enough. But when we go for go terrible, we're terrible enough, man. Condolences to the family. It's yeah. It's not a good look. It's not a good look at all.
Yesterday you said you were going to stay, and today you say you're gonna go straight. Please make up your mind, honey, 'cause you know my love has always been kind.
It is the hot topic right here on Caribbean Vibes or Radio Network. The hot topics right here.
Sugar, sugar, I love you. Sugar, sugar, I need you. Sugar, sugar, I love you.
Because we have to set the record straight. Somebody have to do it, Somebody have to do it. So we have to do it, right?
Sugar, sugar, I need you. I need you, sugar.
I see where Christina saying that there were actually people there knocking his back for through. I kind of suspect that, I kind of suspect that because once you talk about a choking incident in Jamaica, I think they need to have some form of public service, what you call that, education campaign where they teach these things, That's the basic, because a lot of people choke all the while in Jamaica, And a lot of people, most people in Jamaica, they have no idea what the Heimlich maneuver is. I learned that technique when I came to the United States and was working as a CNA. That's when I learned CPR and first aid, and the Heimlich maneuver was one of the techniques that I learned. It's valuable. It's something that everybody should learn, whether you are in healthcare or not. I think everybody should learn to do the Heimlich maneuver. It will save a lot of people. You go to a restaurant to have dinner, you can be choking. People coming to knock you back and giving you water and all of them something. They did that now work. That now work. You know, people.
That slowly grows and grows, not one that comes and goes. That's all I want from you. A little kiss, that's more than just a kiss. Just one that often leaves. That's all I want from you. Don't let me down. You told me that you care. Remember, when you give, you also get your shield. Don't let me down. I have no time to wait. Tomorrow may not come, and dreams may be too late. A little love that slowly grows and grows, not one that comes and goes. That's all I want from you.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, everybody. Hit that thumbs up button, please.
Don't let me down. You told me that you care. Remember, when you give, you also get your share. Don't let me down. I have no time to wait. Tomorrow may not come, and dreams may be too late. A little love that slowly grows and grows, not one that.
Jamie London, a little love right here on the Caribbean Vibes or Radio Network, covering the globe like no one else can. At Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. We're also broadcasting live on YouTube. Yeah, good evening to you. And we're also on Twitch. Yeah, we're also live on Twitch. So you need to check that out, right? Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, there's an interesting article in the Gleaner. Well, it's a Star, really. And it's very important. It's important for many different reasons. And you will understand once I read the article for you. You'll understand. I'm going to give my take on what I think. I'm going to call out some people too. I'm going to start making it a habit of calling out people who are commenting on social media on some of these things. You are commenting, you're putting your name out there for the world to see. So once you stamp your name out there, it is fair game. I was talking to somebody today, and I said, you know, a lot of us, when we come on social media, you know, we don't realize when we make comments how it can come back and bite us. So in today's day and age, we have to be careful of the things we say on social media, the things we comment on, the pages we follow. All of these things are very important. Because once you out there and once you put something out there, you can't take it back. So, hey, listen. I'm going to call out some people here. Because you choose to make a comment and you put yourself out there. It is now my business. Yeah? So more men reporting domestic violence incident. That is the headline. More men are reporting domestic violence incidents March 19, 2026. Jamaica Star. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says more that men are coming forward to report incidents of domestic violence as awareness grows that support services are available to male victims. Head of the JCF's National Domestic Violence Intervention Unit, Deputy Superintendent Jacqueline Dillon, said more men have been reaching out directly to the police for assistance. She was speaking to Jazz News during the JCF Domestic Violence Unit cross-country tour in Mount Salem, St. James on a Saturday. Some of them will not visit the centers. What they will do is call via telephone. Some of them will send you an email, she said. Dillon noted that men have also been contacting the unit from overseas. Just recently, I got an email from a male who is not in Jamaica but abroad. And so we have had males coming to us because I think many men realize that there's hope for them when it comes to domestic violence perpetrated against them. She explained. Okay. Dillon further pointed to advocacy efforts aimed at ensuring male victims are able to seek help. The fact that the JCF has pushed to ensure that men have a voice when it comes to reporting incidents of domestic violence, we continue to see those increases, she said. Last year, we had an increase in over the year before, and based on what's happening now, I am surmising that this will happen for this year. Interesting. All right. So, what I want to do now is go to the comments section, because this was posted in the Jamaica Gleaner, the Jamaica Star, but it was posted on Facebook. And I'm going to read some of the comments that some women are making. Because a lot of people take domestic violence for a joke when it happens to men. But when men are abusing women, it is a serious thing. And I often say to people, I say to my girls, I say to my boys, you reserve the right to do whatever you have to do to protect yourself and defend yourself against an abuser. Let me say that again. I say this to my girls, I say this to my boys. You reserve on the radio.
Hello, good evening, Chris.
Hello, good evening, Sister Pat. How are you?
I am good. I'm good.
How's it going?
It's going well. Can't complain.
Good to hear from you, man.
Okay, likewise. All right. Okay, I'm listening to the program, of course, and it's really sad to hear how that young man passed away, you know?
Isn't it?
It is so very important that we learn CPR. Everyone should be able to know how to perform the Heimlich maneuver.
I agree.
Oh boy. If you're by yourself and you're choking, just put yourself behind a chair and you lean over and you keep pressing and pressing until that item is dislodged. If someone is around you and they know CPR, they need to get behind you and put both arms around you, preferably checking the diaphragm, make sure you don't break the ribs,
Mm-hmm.
and you keep using upper thrust
Yes.
to dislodge that item from your throat.
Mm-hmm.
And that bond must have been so dry.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know how anyone would want to get into a bun eating
I
contest
tell you, it's
and there's nothing to drink.
Oh,
Oh no.
it's
Oh,
Jamaica, man.
sad.
Jamaicans always come up with some things you have to wonder.
But we have people right here in the United States, who do not know how to practice the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah,
That
their
is
loved
true.
one, a mother with babies, the child is choking, they call 911. By the time
Mm,
911 come, that child is DOA.
yeah, yeah.
It's very important that we all learn how to do that Heimlich maneuver.
It is.
But it usually takes an incident or an accident for people to learn, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I bet you they will never make this mistake. This will never happen to another individual.
Well, I hope not, but you know,
Yes. Oh, wow.
I hope somebody learn from that. Other people learn from it. But the thing about it is that a lot of people really do not know what to do if a person is choking, because people are
Yes.
going around. Because see Christina in the chat saying that they're knocking the person's
Knocking
back.
on the back.
So
Because that's what we were
that's
taught.
what we were taught.
Thank God. Thank God for those of us who have traveled
Mm-hmm.
and we become more exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So we learn
Yeah.
because there's nothing like knowledge. And
Yeah.
the knowledge that we have, we can impart it to those who do not know.
Absolutely.
But first of all, folks need to realize in an emergency situation like that, you don't gather around the individual. The
Mm.
person need air, they
Yeah.
need room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gathering around and everyone is a village doctor and a village lawyer and they don't know what to do.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
sad.
That's sad, man. I kind of feel it.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, condolences to his family. I
Oh.
hope they get the help that they rightfully deserve
Mm-hmm.
so they can, for whatever consolation it is, they can, bury their loved one in dignity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. I heard you was rinsing out the Jamaican people, man. You was on, you was on a roll.
I tell you, it's a lot of things. It's some of it is politics, and some of it is just ignorance.
Factual. Some
Yeah,
is factual and some is ignorance, of
yeah,
course.
yeah. Because
Ignorant of the fact.
yeah. So that is why sometimes instead of just yelling and screaming, if you can take your time
Mm-hmm,
and try to inform,
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
bring the facts to people, so that because
Absolutely.
not everybody is uh, as informed as we are.
Absolutely.
So hopefully, if one or two persons will hear and will understand, at least you're teaching one or two persons. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's one or two
Absolutely.
less ignorant persons. So
Right.
that's what we're here to do, because a lot of it
Absolutely.
is just ignorance. Because especially when you talk about the minimum wage,
Mm-hmm,
a lot
mm-hmm.
of people act as if when any government raise the minimum wage, they are saying this is what you're supposed to pay.
Yes.
And it really isn't. They're saying you're
No.
not supposed to pay less than this. You know?
That's what the employer
Right. So you're
is
not
not
supposed to
supposed to
pay
pay the
less
individual.
than this. But they're not saying this is what you're supposed to be paid.
Yes.
So if your employer can double it, triple it, quadruple it, whatever and if you are skilled and educated, you don't have to ever worry about the minimum wage.
No. No.
So
And you see, this is where education comes into play too, because
Mm-hmm.
when I often use the word ignorant,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be ignorant, either you're unable to read or write, or you're ignorant of the fact.
Right.
You don't have the facts.
Right.
So that's where
Which
you
is
need
normal.
to
Which
be
is normally the
educated.
case.
Yes, you
Mm.
need to be educated
Yeah.
so you can get things right,
Mm-hmm.
get the proper information, and use a word in its proper context.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That is
But
true. That is true.
for those of us who are a little bit above, we can still take the time to educate and uplift those who
Yes.
don't
Yes.
have that information.
And that is why
And for
I.
those
I.
who are willing to learn,
Mm-hmm.
those who are willing to learn
Mm-hmm.
and accept the constructive critique or the constructive criticism, because there are some folks who do not wish to be corrected.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find it like that, you have to leave that individual alone, because you can't teach a old dog new tricks.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true,
Gotta
Sister Pat.
leave them in their ignorance and let them stay there.
Mm-hmm. That is
Yeah.
true.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's my take on the whole matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for calling as usual.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome, of course. And you have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening so far.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye
All
bye.
right. All right. Thank you, Sister Pat. Can always count on Sister Pat to share her opinion. I appreciate you. Appreciate you very, very much. Yeah. All right. So we have a few minutes left in the program. So let's play some more music. What to say? Play some more music now.
No, you can tell her anything,
Hey, listen to this. Listen to this.
but I'll never
Listen to this. Listen to this. Skipper, you know that one, yeah?
tell her how much I'm
Ouch.
her type.
Sister Pat, you know this one?
Gonna
Hey,
be my wife, mommy,
I love your daughter.
daughter.
No gesturing.
No one can make
Me leave her. No gesturing.
I said, mommy, I love your daughter.
Hey, 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 hey. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Hey. Gesturing.
She told me I should wait until her
It is 9:55, 5 minutes going up to 10 o'clock right here.
that I'm a very impatient.
What's up, Judah?
I won't let the heart
Shabba.
run away before
Hey, me don't know, no. Me love the world it's a man. Me love the world it's a banner.
this. Cause promises can fool my belly, mommy.
I love your daughter. No gesturing. Hey,
No one can
make me leave her. No gesturing.
no. No, you can tell her anything you want, but I'll never let her out of my sight. Tell her how much I'm not her type, but one day she's gonna be my wife. Mommy, I love your daughter. No gesturing.
Hey, 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 hey.
Fever.
No gesturing. Why you about to tell you about? Hey,
Your daughter.
that's sir.
No gesturing.
Them song your butt. Blup, 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 blup. Listen to that, listen to that, listen to that. Hey. Listen to this, listen to this. What sweet sensation. Yes, Sister Pat, you can't call it that, you know, you can't call it brata. I tell you.
Now there's nothing left for me to say, girl. That's stay in your world. You got so much soul deep inside, girl. And love.
Yeah, but I run through it for the rest of the time, you know. Just a few more minutes left in the program. I want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Linkage Radio Massive on the door. And of course, KVRN, Caribbean Vibes Radio.com, covering the globe. From Kingston to Kingstown, Johannesburg. Covering the globe like no one else can. Rock your body, rock your body, rock your body.
Now there's nothing left for me to say, girl. That's stay in your world. You got so deep inside, girl. And love that we turn and go.
Babylon dust all over me. Them no ramp with me. I strictly sense all over me. Babylon dust all over me. Oh no. Oh no. See all over me. Babylon dust all over me. Check them all over me. Babylon dust all over me. All over
Popular,
me.
but I will give you a perspective.
Oh no. See. Whoa. Hey Babylon, you know like ganja man, but we bring the foreign currency on the island. Do Babylon no bother charge me, sir? Do Babylon no bother charge me, sir? One button on my lip appear, blood me start spit. Do Babylon no bother charge me, sir? Oh no, see, no, one. All over me, Babylon dust all over me. All over me, Babylon dust all over me. All over me, wicked man dust all over me. Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, there is one thing that I want to play for you, see, before I go. I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, I appreciate it. There's one thing that I want to play for you before I go, see. You see, I want everybody who's listening to me and other programs. Do not just take what we say on the radio as gospel. It doesn't matter how you trust us. Do not just take what we say. Do your own research. Do your own research and make up your own minds. Don't take what you hear on, especially what we call legacy media, traditional media. It's failing right now because it is being bought out by a few billionaires, and a lot of people are just towing the line. They have what is called talking points, and everybody have the same exact talking points. So you have to be careful of what you hear on social media. And I'm gonna play something for you, and I want you to listen. These are different people, and I want you to listen. The montage of what's going on here.
People who were talking to Iranians in Iran saying, you know, they're most afraid of the bombs stopping because if the bombs stop, they believe the United States might be done.
Absolutely. And when
You hear that? Do you guys believe that people in Iran is begging the United States to come and drop bombs? Drop bombs on them? I mean, like, seriously. That's a talking point.
they have the moment to tweet, they're tweeting and saying, please don't stop. Because the worst thing that could happen to us is if you leave this regime in place, which means who is going to pay the price? We, the Iranian people, are. They're going to torture us more. They're going to kill us. They're going to throw us in prison. You've got to finish the job. They are celebrating every time a bomb goes on. Just imagine, Trace, for a moment, that you'd be celebrating when you hear a bomb go off, because that is a freedom mission. It's a freedom mission for them. This is not a war. They are finally going to be free from their oppressors that have held them hostage for the past 47 years.
Yeah.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short-term.
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 Short-term. Short-term and long-term.
Short-term
blip. Hopefully this is a short-term.
Short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long.
This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the things I'm talking about. You hear them? Everybody is saying the same exact thing. Short-term pain for the long-term gain. It's different news outlets, but they are owned by the same people. And this is what they're saying. They all get their talking points from one person. So it comes down the chain. And this is, listen, I want you to see what's happening here now.
It's a short-term disruption for the long.
It started off in the White House. And then it trickled down.
Long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term.
All of these people are saying the same exact thing on different programs, different TV network, different. It's just amazing how they're able to repeat the same talking points over and over and over.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes, but we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short-term.
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 Short-term and long-term.
Short-term blip.
Hopefully this is a short-term pain.
Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefits.
Some short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Some of them can't even.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
Yeah, it is mind-boggling because some of them, they can't even pronounce what they want to say because some of them don't get the talking points right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I tell you, it not easy at all. I tell you. Old time Bojo. Anyway, we're wrapping up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in this evening. I want to say thank you. Why time flying, man? I had so much other things that I wanted to touch on, but you know how it goes. Time fly when you're having fun. So thank you, everybody. I look forward to being here with you next week, where we'll do it all over again. And for those of you on social media, yeah, I am back, and thank you. Appreciate it. So we will catch you next time around. My name is Chris Wilby, and this has been the Hot Topics on the Caribbean Vibes Radio Network, covering the globe like no one else can. Fit FM 96.7 and Linkage Radio, ruling the nation. Yeah, them rule the nation. Catch you guys. I am out of here.